The MCU Phase 4 has had its ups and downs, with a strong start thanks to two standout shows. WandaVision was a delight and Loki was simply fantastic. However, I hit a rough patch with the MCU after Hawkeye Season 1, and gradually the entire MCU seemed to be spiraling into chaos. Sometimes I wish we never got the abomination that was Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. I was content with what Loki Season 1 delivered. In my book, Loki should have been Phase 4's foundation, but they went all in on Ant-Man 3 and stumbled miserably. However, despite the mediocrity of Phase 4, I was generally stoked for Loki Season 2. It had the promise of righting some of Phase 4's wrongs and offering a clear glimpse into the MCU's future, a direction that the Phase 4 has lacked so far. So, did episode 1 live up to my high expectations? Unfortunately, it did fall a bit short. Still, it stands as the best that the MCU currently has to offer. There were moments to savor in this first episode, but on the whole, it lacked a certain coherence and seemed to be juggling too many plot points rather than allowing a scene to breathe. Let me briefly recap what happened in this first episode. After Loki is kicked through the time door by his own female variant Sylvie, he is transported to a distant past version of the TVA, where he begins to slip back and forth through time. But why? We don't get a definite answer to this. In this distant past version of the TVA, it is implied that Kang is the ruler and everyone is under him. Loki keeps slipping back and forth in time and finally comes back to the present and reunites with the TVA, where everyone does recognize him. In this present version, no one seems to know who Kang is. It is implied that Kang has erased the memories of the members of the TVA of the time he was the ruler. But Loki exposes this fact that Kang was the ruler at one point and probably wiped out the memories of people like Mobius. We are also faced with the tough decision of whether to prune all the timelines that have started to branch out or whether we should protect them and let them branch out. Remember that if we do let the timelines branch out, we will get multiple versions of Kangs, and that is where the MCU is headed. Loki needs to find a fix to this time slipping as he fears that he could get lost in time. To fix this time slipping, we are introduced to the Ouroboros, in short Obi, played by the excellent Ke Huy Quan. We then get a very cool sequence where Loki time slips to around 400 years in the past, meets Obi again, relays information from what he knows in the present to the past, the information which Obi then uses to provide the solution to the present Loki. I know this sounds so paradoxical, but the editing of this scene was so on point, and this was by far the highlight of the episode. Then there is a long exposition scene on how to prevent Loki from time slipping, and now even the TVA is at risk of getting destroyed because of the branching timelines, causing some instability issues or shit. I swear Marvel needs to do better with these side quests. But at the most critical moment, Loki time slips into the future, where he can't find the time stick, and he gives up thinking that he will be lost in time forever. He then approaches a ringing phone in front of an elevator, but he's surprised when he sees Sylvie prying open the doors of the elevator, and she's relieved to see him. Right then, he's pruned by someone unseen, and just in time to land back in our present day. Hooray! But who pruned Loki? And yeah, we also got a post-credit scene where Sylvie orders every item from McDonald's. It seems that this is where she ended up after killing He Who Remains. As I hinted, there's much to appreciate in episode 1. The cast is top-notch, elevating every line and scene. There is intrigue and suspense unlike anything the MCU has produced lately, and I'm so glad that they got this part right. At least I can say that I'm excited for next week's episode. Also, is it just me or does Loki's soundtrack rank among Marvel's best? I don't typically fuss over end credits, but I always watch Loki's because that score is a total banger. What didn't click for me was the typical MCU humor. It's become a tad overdone. I'm at the point where jokes that would have cracked me 5 years ago now leave me so underwhelmed. Additionally, the quests, the plot points, and the so-called rules of the TVA were a bit too heavy-handed on the exposition side, lacking the organic flow we got in Season 1. Overall, this was a solid enough start for Loki Season 2. I just wish it was more coherent and more character-centric than plot-centric. I still love what I saw, and we were left with more questions than answers. The biggest of which was who pruned Loki and what happens to the future of the TVA. That remains the biggest strength of Loki, and at least Marvel got that part right, the intrigue part. I predict that it is actually Kang who prunes him, and it's hard to say why, but it is one of those predictions that often comes true. In the short term, it might look as if saving Loki was essential, but maybe on the macroscopic scale, this was exactly what Kang wanted. We need Kang to look strong, especially after the disastrous end that we got at Quantumania. Now, if you've enjoyed this review, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. I have a goal of getting to 100 subscribers by the end of this year, and your support means the world. Again, many thanks for watching.